What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sistas. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sistas fans, this is what my 6th or 7th Sister video in a row that I've recorded today. My goodness, I pray that these videos continue to do well, and then when the finale comes on tomorrow night, they just skyrocket in views, because despite a show that doesn't really have a lot of promotional clips or images prior to the episode's airing, fans have come up with so many elaborate theories and discussion points about the upcoming finale. However, this is a discussion video of my own, pretty much, just me thinking out loud, as I usually do on the channel. So before we move forward, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description box below. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel. And please hit subscribe. If you've been a long time subscriber, take a moment to double check if you're still subscribed. I've had people who have been subscribed for years tell me YouTube unsubscribed them. They just hit subscribe and they're back in the fold. So please take a moment to confirm that. Also, if you are a frequent viewer of the channel, but you haven't subscribed, please do so, because I'm trying to increase the percentage of subscribers who actually contribute to the watch time on the channel. We're almost at like 70% non-subscribers and 30% subscribed. So let's try to remedy that. Just hit subscribe. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. Why do so many men flirt with Andi? Now, I just want to kind of talk about the fact that not just Andi turning down so many seemingly decent men, Ben, Paris, to be with a person like Gary. Hell, wasn't there a time where she was briefly kind of sort of dating Morris, but that was more so to piss off Gary? And then Gary turned out to be absolutely correct that Morris is a no good dog. I just feel like you also contribute to the conversation what Gary was talking about in last week's episode about Andi getting therapy because the way she kind of bats her eyes in order to get attention from men. Now, honestly, I feel like part of me feels like that's more so Gary's insecurities than Andi's, due to the fact that I'm not saying Andi doesn't have issues, given the fact that she's going after a married man, and it just seems like her talks with Karen revealed that she's more so concerned about keeping up, with her own quote unquote calendar in regards to, by this age, I should have had, a husband by now, yada, yada, yada. I feel like Andi is a victim of it. If you watch The Oval, I want to say that towards the ending of season 1, where Ellie was in the White House with, when Ellie was in the Oval with Hunter, I think one of the first times she quote unquote came onto him in a way of showing her power, she pretty much explained how, and I believe her actress actually made a very well thought out post on Instagram the night the episode premiered, because I think she mentioned how she's experienced this in her own personal life. So let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up on my phone real quick, because hopefully she doesn't post a lot so I can actually scroll back and find it. But I do feel this was a very well thought out post here. Please bear with me. I'm trying to remember. Here we go. Okay, I want to read this real quick. And remember, this is Oval related, but I feel like it does relate to Sisters as well. Okay. No is a complete sentence, and Ellie is not afraid to use it. I'll be honest, Natasha, me, was terrified to shoot this scene. I identified so much with Ellie in this moment because my whole life, well, ever since puberty, people, men and women have made assumptions about me because of the way I look. That because I have curves, I'm presumed to be promiscuous. That I'm stuck up or entitled. That as a model turned actor, I think I'll just be able to skate by on my good looks. that there's no way I'm celibate or brilliant or shy or kind or an absolute lover of Jesus. And taking ownership of all those labels, standing unapologetically in my body and my truth, was what made this moment with Ellie did for me. Yeah, and I'm reading it as written. My truth was what this moment with Ellie did for me. Whether it's in this life or the industry, I hope what you take away from this moment is this: nobody gets to write your story but you. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us this season. See you in season 2. Until then, take a playbook out of Ellie's book, or take a play out of Ellie's book. Don't be the player, be the coach. And I think that really does apply to Andi as well, because when you look at, I think it was like her former boss, Bellamy, Morris, and, some people, just, well, men who are in the legal game, they pretty much talk down to Andi's like, wait, Andi, Miss Barnes, do you think that you made it this far because of your skills in the courtroom? No, it's because the men sitting on the bench are attracted to you. They look at your cleavage, the way you walk around in court. That's the only reason you're here. It's not because you're intelligent. And I feel like Andi is a bit of a victim of that, where you just look at how men treat her in the series, outside of Gary, because part of me does feel like she's confident in what she does. I mean, I feel like in episode 1, go back to episode 1. Remember, season 1 is on BET Plus. Her first scene was just one hell of an interest in regards to how she handled the case, where her client got millions more than what she wanted and the house. That was a great introduction to Andi's character, that she's competent and confident in the court, in the profession she's in. So as we go further into the series and we learn more about the toxic masculinity in the career field she's in, yeah, you begin to feel, damn, it's like Andi's accomplished, but at the same time, it's like, was she only chosen to get this far in her career because she's an attractive woman, because she's black? There are just so many things that you have to wonder about. And then as the season progresses, we learn that Jasmine has pulled so many ridiculous stunts off screen, like handing out flyers in the police station, that Andrea Barnes, she's the hoe, she's the bitch, she's the slut, she's the skank who cheated, my husband cheated on me with, yada, yada, yada. So from there, even into season 2, you look at the fact that there are men who just randomly flirt with Andi, randomly give her their phone number. And yeah, I feel like in those moments we see that, yeah, I don't think Andi is willingly attracting this kind of attention. It just kind of happens to her because of the fact that she has a bit of a reputation, even in her own building. I think it was, what was it? Nicholas Phelps, the guy who's like the bellman, the doorman or whatever. He's like, well, yeah, the wife of the man, Gary, she was out here, with a megaphone or, posting up flyers and things, which begs the question, if she was handing out flyers and stuff like that, wouldn't somebody stop her? It's like, hey, you're actually harassing one of our tenants. Crappy security in these shows. I just feel like, I don't think Andi is a flirt. I honestly don't. I feel like she does have her moments, because I do believe towards the, what was it? Let me check. I forgot what episode it was. Was it Old Faithful? That was episode 8 of season 1. It's revealed that her and Karen have an F-boy. Pretty much they call up whenever she's having trouble with Zach, or, Andi's, well, I think she said her old faithful, her old reliable. He hasn't called him since she got together with Gary. So they basically have the women equivalent of a little black book, so to speak. That's the best way to put it. But I honestly don't think Andi utilizes her femininity, is that the word, or her feminine wiles to get to where she is. I feel like she did that through skill. Now, whether or not the men who are quote unquote in charge of opening certain doors for her looked at her for her appearance rather than her intelligence, that's left to be, revealed. But I do think that overall, men flirting with Andi is something she honestly can't control. That's not to say she doesn't like the attention, because I don't think Gary would completely be talking out of his ass. When you look at the entire series as a whole, look at how she treats Paris, somebody to hook up with when she is on the ropes with Gary. Not to mention the fact that you also look at the situation with Gary, that I do feel like it's part of his own insecurities. You're with an attractive woman. There will be men who look. You just have. I feel like his main issue is he doesn't have strong trust in the women he dates. That's honestly how I look at it, because even if there are 50 men looking at Andi when she walks into a room, if you can trust Andi, then you know she's going to come back home to you. But then again, you really aren't faithful your own damn self, given the fact you hooked up with Andi while you're married. So what does that say about you? I mean, you honestly can't throw stones in a glass house when you're standing in one yourself. But I just thought this was an interesting video to do, because we've had Nicholas the doorman, then the cop who came just giving Andi their phone number. It's just like, what? So why do you think men flirt with Andi on just a consistent basis, aside being attractive? But part of me feels like some of these men think she could be easy because of, what's the word they used to use, a floozy, a skank, because of what Jasmine has been doing, you know, basically promoting her skankiness by handing out flyers and revealing that she's a whore. So that could honestly, that probably helped the men attracted to her thing. But that's just my opinion. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And like I said before, like and subscribe. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.